The one thing I learned from yesterday's Super Bowl was this: the Eagles' window is still wide open. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, keep things back here and breaking news, breaking mother humping news. The Eagles have found their new offensive line coach. And guess what? He isn't Jeff Stoutland, all right? And a lot of people are upset about this. They're saying this guy stinks. This guy isn't going to be good. How could you replace him? I just want to ask you one question. In all reality, who's going to be better than Jeff Stoutland? I mean, you're talking about a guy who literally develops Hall of Famers, and you're losing him after 13 years. For the right reasons, the wrong reasons, that's not the argument. The argument is this: it's very hard to replace a guy like that. And the Eagles, they're taking a chance right here. Tom Pelissero is reporting this: the Eagles are hiring Chris Kuper as their offensive line coach, sources tell the insiders. Kuper spent the past 4 seasons in the same role in Minnesota, where he crossed paths with Eagles offensive coordinator Sean Mannion. Now they are teaming up. So he is teaming up with Sean Mannion. Here's some more stuff on him from Bleeding Green Nation. Kuper played offensive guard for the Broncos from 2006 to 2013. That's a decent career. And most recently spent 4 years as the Minnesota Vikings offensive line coach. He also had a brief stint with the Broncos as an offensive line coach under Vic Fangio from 2019 to 2021. Here's how the Vikings offensive line ranked over the past 4 seasons by Pro Football Focus. In 2025, they were 18th. 2024, 18th. 2023, 12th. 2022, 13th. Kuper's the latest addition to Sean Mannion's staff, with the new offensive coordinator brings in a familiar face like run game coordinator, tight end coach Ryan Mahaffey. Look, it's impossible for me to sit there and tell you, yeah, this guy is the guy that we need. He's going to come in, he's going to develop all these guys, and he's going to do a great job. I don't know. I have no idea, okay? It sounds like, he was so-so in Minnesota, nothing to write home about. I also did read that the places that he has been really as a coach, there wasn't a whole lot of drafting young offensive linemen and developing them. I'm talking about high draft picks. I think there's a good chance this offseason, I think there's a good chance in this draft that the Eagles very well could go offensive line 2 of the first 3 picks. Okay? So we don't know what this guy is. And truthfully, with Sean Mannion, with all these new offensive coaches that they brought in, we're in wait and see, okay? We have no idea. We all were talking, and a lot of people were saying we got to change the offense. It's got to change. We got to get Sirianni away from it, me included. So now we're getting it, okay? And we're going to find out if this was the right coach and the right hire. Then we're going to find out if it can work. So I think this year the one thing that we're really gonna take out of this season is, was the problems on the offensive side more the quarterback or were they more the coach? I always said I thought they were more the coach and him basically handcuffing his quarterback and his offense. We're going to find out. It's going to change, and as much as I hate to see Stoutland leave, and I do, I wish he didn't leave. I'm not going to totally shit on all these guys right now. I'm going to give them a chance because that's what we asked for. We asked for a new offense. Now we're going to see how it plays out. But they got a lot of work to do, especially on that offensive line, because they've got to retool. They've got to retool, okay? And speaking of retool, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks on winning the Super Bowl. If you guys and all those who were with me during the stream last night, I totally appreciate it. Had a great time. It wasn't the most most active Super Bowl in the world in terms of, especially like in the first half. It's kind of boring, and the reason wasn't because it was low scoring or defense were playing good. That's fine. I'm good with that. I thought Darnold and May, I thought they both weren't that impressive yesterday. Okay, so it is what it is. But the one thing I took out of that Super Bowl is this: the Eagles are right there. Okay, they're right there. If they make the right moves, then we're going to find out with the coaches. But if they make the right moves with the players and who they bring in and retooling that offensive line, this is a team that could go back really quick. Their window is far from closed. I see a lot of people, and usually it's not Eagle fans. It's like Cowboy fans trying to tell Eagle fans you should be panicked. Your window is closed. All that. It's not true. It's not true. The Eagles got to make some right moves. They've got to tweak some things, and I think they'll be just fine. It's going to be a very important offseason for Howie Roseman. If he has one of his typical great off seasons, we'll be right back in it. I truly believe that, okay? And we're going to talk a lot about guys who they should get and guys who they could get. But there are two guys I want to talk a little bit about really quick. One is A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I don't believe is getting traded. I don't know that he really wants to get traded. He's either not wanting to be traded or he's playing it absolutely perfect in attitude and how he's approaching it in order to keep his equity up. But this is really quick what he said during Micah Parsons' podcast. He basically said this.
I got to Philly, man. Philly welcomed me with open arms. That's home, man, and I love them. I love the support. I love the accountability. I love everything else that they do.
So he says he loves it. Well, that's great. And if he's honest and he means it, then I expect A.J. Brown to be there. I think there's more incentives for the Eagles to keep A.J. Brown than to let him go. They're not going to get enough. They're just not. And so you might as well keep them. The other thing is Micah Parsons. I know you guys all saw what he said about going to Eagles. I tried to tell Cowboy fans. I seriously tried to tell them. I told them for years. Future Eagle Micah Parsons. Future Eagle Micah Parsons. I didn't say it just to say it. Well, I did kind of want to get on their nerves, just to piss them off. But I could tell. You could tell. Okay? When you're from that area, then you leave and you miss it, you could see it in his eyes. You could see the twinkle to be an Eagle. He wanted to be part of it. You could tell he wanted to be an Eagle. And he almost was. This is what he said about the situation.
So, to be honest with you, bro, it was very close.
Okay.
It was very close. Eagles, before the Jalen Phillips, before all them, it was me.
Yeah.
It was me. Yeah. And I was really about to come, but there was one person that I had to play with that if he was gone, I did not want to be there. And that was Jalen Carter. Okay. They wanted to D-tackle.
Yeah.
And they wanted to trade me plus some picks. I mean, I don't really care about the picks, but
yeah.
I'm coming to play next to JC. You feel me?
That would've been crazy.
Yeah, so sorry, Cowboys fans. It almost it really almost happened.
Talk about it.
So, I mean, it was close. The Eagles tried, and the Cowboys, I assume they wanted Jalen Carter, and that was the only way. They weren't going to take anybody else, although you saw the year Jordan Davis had. However, they wanted Jalen Carter. The Eagles weren't going to give up what they wanted. He goes to Green Bay, but then remember, there's a whole poison pill in the trade with Green Bay where they can't move him to Philly or something like that. So, yeah, it's interesting. Micah definitely wanted to be a Philadelphia Eagle. There is no doubt about it. I knew it. You could tell for years. And I think Cowboy fans deep down inside knew that's where he'd rather be. And I think even listening to what he just said, he's in Green Bay, but he still would love to be there. You know it. I know it. And it's the way it's going to be. So now the Eagles, they're going to have to go out and figure out what they're going to do at the edge rusher. That's one of many positions. I mean, we got some big positions to fill. I think you need to work on the cornerback. I think you still need to figure out the edge rushing position. Then you got to figure out what you're going to do. And I think priority number one is that offensive line. That offensive line has to be fixed, and it has to be fixed this offseason. My guess, and we'll get into all this, we got the combine coming, which we'll be streaming, but my guess is this, that the Eagles are going to use the draft to primarily on offense. Not all, but primarily. And I think defensively, I think you're going to see the Eagles go out in free agency and make some moves there. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles, go out in free agency and bring in a cornerback to start. Okay, like I don't think they're going to draft a corner in the first round. Only reason I say it, now if it's the best guy available, you do it. But, you got to pay Q, you got to pay Coop, and then what? You're going to draft another first-round corner that you're going to have to pay him a huge contract in a few years too. So I don't know. But, I mean, we'll figure it out. I do think the Eagles are going to be a major player for Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby or Myles Garrett. If Myles Garrett gets shopped around, I think it's possible. I mean, it sounds like Crosby is out. It sounds like he's already said he's played his last game with the Raiders. He wants out. And then we saw all the stuff he said about playing in Philly and going to Philly and playing, what it was like. Here are some rumors right now. Maxx Crosby, and I don't know how true this is from Jason La Canfora. Maxx Crosby told Tom Brady he will never play for the Raiders again, an unnamed GM told Jason La Canfora. He told Brady he will never play for the Raiders again. That's a fact. He told them he'll retire before he ever plays for them again. But I'm not sure they're actually going to trade him. Okay. Myles Garrett said the same thing last year, and we know how that ended up. It did, with a lot more money. But we'll see. I mean, we'll really see. I do think that the Eagles could be a big player, and I would take a chance on Maxx Crosby. I would. I would give up draft picks to get him. I think him with Jalen Carter and Jordan Day, holy crap, and more development of Jalix Hunt. Nolan Smith is the interesting name here because I don't think Nolan Smith deserves a contract extension, and he's technically eligible. I think you pick up his option year like they did Jordan Davis, and I think you focus on getting another edge rusher. Now, if they sign Jalen Phillips, which from there have been like rumors that the Eagles want to bring him back. If they can get him back, then this probably takes Crosby off the board. But if Jalen Phillips walks and you don't sign him, then I'm going all in on Maxx Crosby. I think the Eagles definitely need a pass rusher. You saw it in the Eagles Super Bowl. What a pass rush, especially when you don't have to blitz, what it does. You look and see what Seattle did to the Patriots. Although they blitz a little more, they're still getting to the quarterback is, like I've always said, is the key on defense because you chop the head off the snake, especially in a league that favors offense so much. I think you have to have a good pass rush. So I'm going pretty heavy and hardcore on Maxx Crosby if given the opportunity. And the way the Eagles tried to go after Parsons and the way they tried to trade for Myles Garrett at the trade deadline, I think this is something to watch. What's going to happen to Phillips? It's going to be an interesting year. Super Bowl is over. As far as I'm concerned, off-season is underway. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how I vision, baby. We're all just living in it. So people ask me, what's my coverage like for, especially a lot of people that are new this year to the channel. What do I do in the off season? How that go? Pretty much, you're going to get at least a video 5 days a week. A lot of those days, it'll be 2 videos a day, a live stream and a video. So there's a lot going on. Now, we're in a little bit of a dead time right now, right? The Super Bowl just ended. The next few weeks a little bit dead, but once we get to free agency and the draft, it gets crazy. I will be streaming the draft, of course. I will be streaming free agency frenzy. I will be streaming the combine. So we've got a lot going on this off season. You don't want to go anywhere. Make sure you like and subscribe. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.